Welcome, citizens of Gotham, to a journey through the shadows and into the heart of one of fiction's most enduring legends. Tonight, we're going to explore the complete saga of Batman, from a young boy's tragedy on a cold Gotham night to his evolution into a symbol that transcends time itself. This is a story of loss and redemption, of darkness and hope, of a man who chose to become something more than human in service of justice. So settle in, make yourself comfortable, and let your mind drift into the Gothic spires of Gotham City. Our story begins in 1939, not in the rain-slicked alleys of Gotham, but in the imagination of creators who understood that sometimes the most powerful heroes are born from the deepest wounds. The Batman who first appeared in Detective Comics number 27 was a figure of mystery and shadow, a creature of the night who struck fear into the hearts of criminals. In those first 6 pages, we meet a very different Batman than the one we know today. He is ruthless, unforgiving, a vigilante who operates entirely outside the law. When he confronts the murderer Alfred Stryker, there is no attempt at rehabilitation, no hope for redemption. Batman simply punches the criminal, sending him tumbling into a tank of acid. And as the villain meets his gruesome end, Batman offers no remorse, no second thoughts. He simply observes that it's a fitting end for his kind before disappearing into the night. The story unfolds as a classic mystery, with Bruce Wayne appearing as nothing more than a bored socialite, smoking his pipe with Commissioner Gordon and seemingly interested only in the idle gossip of high society. But beneath this carefully crafted facade lurks the true Bruce Wayne, a man driven by purpose so intense it consumes his every waking moment. When he excuses himself from Gordon's company, it's not to attend another party or retire for the evening, but to don the cape and cowl that transform him into something more than mortal. These early adventures establish patterns that will echo through decades of stories. Batman works alone, trusting no one completely, not even the police, who pursue him as vigilantly as they do the criminals he hunts. He uses fear as his primary weapon, understanding instinctively that criminals are a cowardly and superstitious lot who can be controlled through psychological warfare as effectively as through physical force. The transformation from Bruce Wayne to Batman is portrayed as absolute. There is no gradual shift, no middle ground. One moment he is the vapid playboy, the next he is the terrifying vigilante. This duality, this complete separation of identities, speaks to something fundamental about the character. The idea that trauma can split a person so completely that they become 2 distinct beings sharing one body. It doesn't take long for readers to learn the source of Batman's crusade. In a story that has been retold countless times but never loses its power, we witness young Bruce Wayne's world shatter on a cold Gotham night. The Wayne family, Thomas, Martha, and their young son, emerge from a theater showing, their minds still filled through the adventure and wonder of the film. They take a shortcut through an alley, a simple decision that will echo through history. The mugger appears from the shadows, demanding Martha's pearls. Thomas Wayne, brave and protective, steps forward to defend his family. The gun fires twice, its thunder destroying not just 2 lives but an entire world. Martha falls beside her husband, her pearls scattering across the blood-stained pavement like tears. And young Bruce, 8 years old and suddenly alone, kneels between his parents' bodies and makes a vow that will define the rest of his existence. This origin story, simple in its tragedy and profound in its implications, establishes Batman as fundamentally different from other heroes of his era. He is not blessed with powers from another world or gifted with mystical abilities. He is a human being who has experienced the worst that life can offer and chosen to transform that pain into purpose. Every skill he develops, every resource he employs, stems from this moment of absolute loss. In these early stories, Bruce has a fiancée named Julie Madison, a wealthy actress who represents the life he might have led without tragedy. She loves Bruce Wayne, the man, unaware of his dark alter ego. Their relationship is doomed from the start, not because of external threats, but because Bruce has already given his heart to his mission. Julie represents normalcy, happiness, the possibility of healing, all things that Bruce has convinced himself he doesn't deserve. When Julie is kidnapped by the Monk, one of Batman's first recurring villains, we see the lengths to which Batman will go to protect the innocent. The Monk is no ordinary criminal, but a vampire who commands supernatural powers. Batman tracks him to his lair, and while the villain sleeps in his coffin, Batman does something that would become unthinkable in later years. He shoots the Monk with a silver bullet, ending the threat permanently. These early adventures establish Batman's initial approach to crime fighting. Permanent solutions to permanent problems. He carries guns, uses them without hesitation, and shows no qualms about taking lives when he deems it necessary. This is not yet the Batman who believes in redemption or second chances. This is a man at war, and in war, enemies are eliminated. No discussion of Batman's early years would be complete without the arrival of his greatest enemy, though neither of them could know it at the time. The Joker appears in Batman #1 like a force of nature, fully formed and terrifyingly purposeful in his chaos. From his very first appearance, he is death incarnate, but death dressed in the garb of comedy, making his horror all the more unsettling. The Joker announces his crimes in advance, broadcasting over the radio that he will kill prominent citizens at specific times. And he does, using a venom that leaves his victims with grotesque smiles frozen on their faces, a calling card that turns death itself into a sick joke. He doesn't kill for money, though he steals. He doesn't kill for power, though he accumulates it. He kills because he finds it amusing, because the randomness of death appeals to his twisted sense of humor. What makes the Joker particularly terrifying in these early appearances is his competence. This is not yet the chaotic force of nature he will become, but a calculating criminal who plans his schemes with meticulous care. He impersonates police officers with uncanny skill, infiltrates secure locations with ease, and always seems to be 3 steps ahead of both Batman and the authorities. Their first confrontation establishes the dynamic that will define their relationship for decades. Batman represents order, logic, and the belief that crime can be solved through detection and prevention. The Joker represents chaos, madness, and the uncomfortable truth that some evil exists simply because it can. When Batman finally captures him, the Joker doesn't rage or despair, he smiles, knowing that capture is just another phase of the game, that he'll escape soon enough to play again. The introduction of the Joker marks a crucial evolution in Batman's world. Prior villains had been conventional criminals, mobsters, thieves, murderers with understandable if deplorable motivations. The Joker operates on an entirely different level. He is Batman's first true supervillain, a foe whose abilities and mindset match the hero's own. Their conflict elevates both of them beyond simple crime fighter and criminal into something mythic. The arrival of Dick Grayson in 1940 fundamentally transforms the Batman mythology. The introduction of Robin was a calculated decision to brighten the increasingly dark stories and provide young readers with a character they could identify with. But what emerged was something far more profound. A relationship that would humanize Batman and create the template for found families in superhero fiction. Dick's origin deliberately parallels Bruce's own tragedy. The young acrobat watches in horror as his parents, the Flying Graysons, plummet to their deaths during a circus performance, their trapeze lines severed by mobster Tony Zuko. Bruce Wayne, attending the circus, sees in Dick's eyes the same shock and rage that consumed him as a child. In that moment, he makes a decision that seems to contradict his loner nature. He will take this boy in and give him what he never had: guidance through grief. The training of Dick Grayson reveals new facets of Bruce's character. He is a demanding taskmaster, pushing the boy to physical and mental limits that would break most adults. But he is also protective, ensuring that Dick's education continues, that he maintains connections to the world outside crime fighting. Bruce understands, perhaps unconsciously, that he is both saving and damning this child, giving him purpose while potentially condemning him to the same obsessive existence that defines Batman. Robin's presence changes Batman's methods almost immediately. The Dark Avenger who shot vampires and threw criminals into acid vats begins to show mercy. It's as if Dick's youth and optimism remind Bruce of lines that shouldn't be crossed, of the example he must set. The guns disappear from Batman's arsenal, replaced by an ever-expanding array of non-lethal gadgets. The dynamic between them, experienced mentor and eager student, adds warmth to stories that had been growing increasingly cold. Dick Grayson, as Robin, brings something else crucial to the Batman mythology: joy. Even in the darkest moments, Robin's quips and enthusiasm provide light. He performs acrobatic feats with genuine pleasure, approaches each case as an adventure rather than a grim duty. Through Dick's eyes, we see that crime fighting doesn't have to be an endless, joyless crusade. It can also be about the thrill of swinging through the night, the satisfaction of solving a puzzle, the simple pleasure of helping those in need. The public's reaction to Robin was immediately positive, with sales increasing dramatically. But more than commercial success, Robin's introduction established Batman as more than just a vigilante. He became a father figure, a teacher, someone capable of love and connection despite his trauma. The Dark Knight was still dark, but now he had a reason to step into the light occasionally. As the 1940s progressed, Batman's world expanded, with a rogues gallery that would become as iconic as the hero himself. Each villain brought unique challenges and revealed different aspects of Batman's character. They were dark mirrors, reflecting what Bruce Wayne might have become had his response to trauma taken different forms. The Penguin waddles into Batman's life as Oswald Cobblepot, a figure of ridicule who transforms mockery into murderous intent. Short, rotund, and obsessed with birds and umbrellas, he seems almost comical until you realize that his weapons are deadly and his mind is sharp. The Penguin represents the criminal who hides behind respectability, operating nightclubs and legitimate businesses while orchestrating elaborate crimes. His obsession with proving himself a gentleman criminal makes him predictable in some ways, but his cunning and resources make him perpetually dangerous. Catwoman slinks into the mythology with a complexity that sets her apart from other villains. Selina Kyle is a thief, but one with a code. She steals from the wealthy, uses her sexuality as a weapon, but shows genuine affection for Batman, even as she eludes his capture. Their relationship is charged with tension that goes beyond hero and villain, as attraction, respect, and the constant question of whether she might be redeemed. In Catwoman, Batman faces not just a criminal, but temptation itself, the possibility of a life beyond his mission. Two-Face brings tragedy to the rogues gallery. Harvey Dent was once Gotham's crusading district attorney, Batman's ally in the legal system. But when acid scars half his face, the psychological break is complete. He becomes obsessed with duality, making all decisions with the flip of a scarred coin. In Two-Face, Batman sees the thin line between justice and vengeance, the ease with which a good man can fall. Every encounter with Harvey is a reminder that Batman himself walks that line nightly. The Scarecrow, Professor Jonathan Crane, weaponizes fear itself. As a psychologist who became obsessed with phobias, he creates toxins that force victims to experience their deepest terrors. For Batman, who uses fear as a tool, facing an enemy who masters it presents unique challenges. The Scarecrow forces Batman to confront his own fears, to push through terror that would paralyze ordinary men. Their battles are as much psychological as physical. Each villain adds layers to Gotham's mythology. The city becomes not just a setting, but a character itself, a place that seems to breed a particular kind of theatrical criminal. These aren't just bank robbers or murderers, they're performers, each with their own theme, costume, and methodology. They transform crime into dark art, forcing Batman to become equally theatrical in response. The relationship between Batman and Gotham's legal system evolves significantly during these early years. Initially, he is as wanted by the police as the criminals he pursues. Officers fire upon him, newspapers decry him as a vigilante menace, and honest cops like Commissioner Gordon face pressure to bring him in. But gradually, a grudging respect develops. The transformation begins with results. Batman solves cases the police cannot, stops criminals they cannot catch. Commissioner Gordon, a rarity in Gotham's corrupt police force, recognizes that sometimes the system needs help from outside. Their early meetings are tense affairs, with Gordon officially condemning Batman while secretly appreciating his effectiveness. This dance of public denial and private cooperation establishes a pattern that will endure for decades. The Bat-Signal's first appearance marks a crucial shift in this relationship. No longer is Batman simply a tolerated vigilante. He becomes an officially recognized, if unofficial, part of Gotham's law enforcement. The signal transforms him from lurking shadow to summoned guardian. When that light pierces the night sky, criminals know fear and citizens know hope. It's a powerful symbol that acknowledges what everyone already knows. Gotham needs Batman. Yet this cooperation comes with complications. Batman operates by his own rules, gathering evidence through methods no court would accept. He beats confessions from criminals, breaks into private property, and violates numerous civil rights in pursuit of justice. Gordon must balance his belief in the law with the practical reality that Batman gets results. It's a moral compromise that weighs on the commissioner, even as he continues to pull that switch and light up the night. The deputization of Batman as an honorary member of the Gotham City Police Department represents the high watermark of this cooperation. For a brief period, Batman operates with official sanction, his methods temporarily overlooked in favor of his effectiveness. But such arrangements are inherently unstable. Batman cannot truly serve the law when his very existence represents its failure. He remains forever outside the system, a necessary shadow that allows the light of official justice to function. Through these early years, we see the establishment of Batman's complex relationship with authority. He respects the law's intent while recognizing its limitations. He works with good cops like Gordon while battling corruption throughout the force. He is simultaneously Gotham's greatest protector and its most prominent lawbreaker, a paradox that defines the character's eternal struggle. As we move into the 1950s, the Batman mythology undergoes a fundamental transformation that reflects the changing times. The Dark Avenger of the Night begins to operate increasingly in daylight, and his world expands beyond Gotham's shadows to encompass the wider DC universe. This era brings one of the most important relationships in comic history, the friendship between Batman and Superman. Their first team-up seems unlikely on paper. Superman, the alien Boy Scout who operates in the bright skies of Metropolis, appears to have little in common with the brooding vigilante of Gotham. Yet their partnership reveals profound complementary qualities. Where Superman offers hope and raw power, Batman provides strategy and determination. Where Superman trusts in humanity's better nature, Batman prepares for its worst impulses. The formation of the Justice League of America places Batman among gods and aliens, yet he never seems out of place. His lack of superpowers becomes a strength, not a weakness. He is the tactician, the detective, the one who notices details others miss. When facing cosmic threats, it's often Batman's planning that saves the day, proving that human intelligence and preparation can stand alongside superhuman abilities. But this era also brings some of the strangest stories in Batman's history. The comics code has sanitized violence, and Cold War paranoia manifests in increasingly bizarre ways. In one memorable tale, Superman joins the mafia to prove his loyalty by appearing to murder Batman and his loved ones before their eyes. Of course, it's all an elaborate ruse involving conveniently placed wax figures. But the image of Superman burning Batman's friends alive, even as deception, shows how far these stories could venture into the absurd. The friendship between Batman and Superman becomes central to both characters, yet it's consistently tested. Mind control plots abound, with one or the other falling under villain influence with alarming regularity. These stories, repetitive as they may be, explore the fundamental question of what happens when the world's most powerful being opposes the world's greatest detective. The answer, invariably, is that Batman has prepared for this possibility with characteristic thoroughness. Despite the lighter tone of many adventures, the partnership reveals essential truths about both heroes. Superman sees in Batman the human potential he strives to inspire, a man without powers who stands against the darkness through will alone. Batman sees in Superman the good that still exists in the world, the hope he fights to preserve even when he cannot feel it himself. They become best friends, not despite their differences, but because of them. The Batman of the 1950s and early 60s ventures into territories that seem almost hallucinogenic compared to his noir origins. This is the era of the whirly bat, that improbable flying contraption that somehow becomes both Batman's most mocked and strangely endearing vehicle. These stories embrace the fantastic with an enthusiasm that transforms the Dark Knight into something closer to a sci-fi adventurer. Consider Batman's encounter with his alien counterpart from the planet Zur-En-Arrh. This extraterrestrial Batman has observed Earth's hero and created his own version, complete with a garish purple and red costume. When Earth's Batman visits this alien world, he gains temporary superpowers, fighting alien invasions with heat vision and super strength. It's a far cry from stalking mobsters in Gotham's alleys, yet these stories maintain their own strange charm. The constant transformation of the Batmobile during this period reflects the era's restless experimentation. One issue sees it converted into a fire gem, complete with extending ladders and water cannons. Another transforms it into a submersible for underwater adventures. The vehicle is destroyed and rebuilt so frequently that it becomes a running joke. Yet each iteration showcases the boundless creativity of creators freed from strict realism. Batmite's introduction brings magical chaos to Batman's ordered world. This imp from the fifth dimension idolizes Batman to an annoying degree, using his reality warping powers to create situations where his hero can demonstrate prowess. His crush on Batwoman and efforts to play matchmaker for Batgirl add romantic comedy to superhero adventure. While Batmite annoys Batman, his presence represents something important: the idea that Batman has become legendary enough to inspire worship across dimensions. The Batman family expands during this period, with additions that range from inspired to peculiar. Ace the Bat Hound joins the crusade, a German shepherd who somehow maintains a secret identity with a mask over his eyes. Despite the absurdity, Ace proves surprisingly effective, taking bullets for his human partners and displaying intelligence that borders on superhuman. His eventual fate, disappearing from stories without explanation, reflects the era's casual approach to continuity. Kathy Kane becomes Batwoman, inspired by Batman to fight crime in her own Bat-themed costume. Her niece Betty joins as Batgirl, hyphenated to distinguish from Barbara Gordon's later Batgirl. These characters represent both progressive inclusion of female heroes and regressive gender politics, as their crime fighting often takes a backseat to romantic pursuits. Yet they establish precedents for future, more fully realized female characters in the Batman mythology. Even in this lighter era, death haunts the Batman mythology. Alfred Pennyworth, the faithful butler who discovered Bruce and Dick's secret identities and became their most trusted confidant, meets his end crushed beneath a boulder while saving Batman and Robin. His sacrifice is genuinely heroic, a moment of real emotion in an era often lacking such weight. But death in comics, even then, was negotiable. Alfred returns as the Outsider, a bizarre, white-skinned villain with reality-altering powers who torments the dynamic duo without their knowing his true identity. When the truth is revealed and Alfred is restored to life and sanity, it establishes a pattern that will become all too familiar: death as a temporary inconvenience rather than a permanent state. These resurrection stories reflect comics' unique relationship with mortality. Characters die heroically, are mourned genuinely, then return through increasingly convoluted explanations. It cheapens death while acknowledging the medium's serial nature. Popular characters are too valuable to lose permanently. This tension between dramatic impact and commercial necessity shapes superhero storytelling to this day. The treatment of romance during this period deserves special attention. Bruce Wayne cycles through relationships with Julie Mattison, Linda Page, Vicky Vale, and Kathy Kane, among others. Each woman represents a possible normal life, a chance for happiness beyond the cowl. Yet each relationship fails, usually through misunderstanding or Bruce's inability to balance his dual identity. The love triangle with Catwoman becomes particularly complex. She falls for Bruce Wayne while fighting Batman, not knowing they're the same person. Bruce dates her to reform her, telling Linda it's a mission for Batman rather than genuine affection. When Catwoman discovers the truth through an elaborate disguise, the betrayal ends both the relationship and her attempted reformation. It's a surprisingly adult storyline about deception and trust in an era often marked by simplicity. The Batman television series, starring Adam West, transforms the character into a cultural phenomenon while fundamentally altering public perception of the Dark Knight. The show's campy tone, while initially successful, creates an image of Batman as a figure of fun rather than fear. Biff, pow, zap becomes shorthand for superhero silliness, a perception that will take decades to overcome. Yet the show's influence on the comics proves double-edged. Stories become even lighter to match the television tone, with villains focused more on elaborate death traps than actual death. The Joker stops killing entirely, instead committing themed pranks that Batman invariably foils. The Riddler's puzzles become more prominent, turning him from a minor villain into a major threat through television exposure. This era sees Batman at his most divorced from his origins. The orphan child driven by vengeance has become a deputized defender of the status quo. The creature of the night operates primarily in daylight. The loner has an extended family of crime fighters and even a fan club from another dimension. It's Batman at his most accessible and least essential, popular but defanged. However, seeds of return to darkness are already being planted. Writers and artists who grew up with the original Batman begin to chafe at restrictions. They remember when Batman was dangerous, when Gotham was noir rather than neon. The comics code that mandated lighter content begins to loosen. Social changes in the 1960s create appetite for more complex adult storytelling. The transition comes gradually but inevitably. Dick Grayson ages into a teenager who must eventually leave for college. This natural progression forces examination of Batman's relationships and methods. Can Batman exist without Robin? Should he? These questions drive stories that begin to explore the psychology behind the mask, setting the stage for the Bronze Age's return to darkness. The dawn of the 1970s brings a fundamental shift in the Batman mythology, a deliberate return to the character's darker roots that reflects both changing social attitudes and creative frustration with the campy excesses of the previous decade. The transition begins with Dick Grayson's departure for Hudson University, a natural progression that forces Batman to confront who he is without his young partner. The symbolism of Robin leaving cannot be overstated. For 30 years, the boy wonder has been Batman's light, his connection to hope and humanity. Now 18 and ready to forge his own path, Dick's departure leaves Bruce truly alone for the first time since those early vigilante days. The Batcave, once filled with Robin's chatter and energy, becomes a tomb of silence, broken only by the squeaking of bats and the hum of computers. Bruce's response to this isolation is telling. Rather than maintain the status quo at Wayne Manor, he closes the Batcave and moves his operations to a penthouse in the heart of Gotham City. This relocation represents more than convenience. It's a statement of purpose. Batman no longer observes Gotham from a distance, but immerses himself in its corruption and decay. The city becomes his true home. It shadows his natural habitat. The stories of this era reflect a grittier, more realistic approach to crime fighting. Gone are the alien invasions and transformed appliances. In their place come drug dealers, serial killers, and corrupt politicians. Batman's enemies are human monsters rather than colorful supervillains, though when classic foes appear, they too have evolved. The violence is more brutal, the stakes more personal, the line between justice and vengeance increasingly blurred. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams spearhead this transformation, creating stories that acknowledge Batman as a creature born from trauma. Their Batman is athletic rather than bulky, a swimmer's build that emphasizes agility over raw strength. His cape becomes a living thing, flowing dramatically to create the illusion of something inhuman. Most importantly, he is genuinely frightening again, a figure criminals whisper about in terror. The night becomes Batman's domain once more. These stories emphasize shadow and atmosphere, with Batman emerging from darkness like a materialized nightmare. His methods grow harsher. While he doesn't kill, he shows little concern for the injuries he inflicts. Broken bones and psychological trauma are acceptable tools in his war on crime. This is not a hero in the traditional sense, but an obsessed man channeling his pain into something that might charitably be called justice. The introduction of Ra's al Ghul represents a quantum leap in the complexity of Batman's mythology. Here is a villain who operates on a global scale, whose plans span centuries, whose resources rival governments. Ra's is no street-level criminal or themed psychopath, but an immortal eco-terrorist who sees Batman as both his greatest enemy and ideal successor. The name itself carries weight. Whether pronounced Raish or Raz, it translates to Head of the Demon, a title that proves frighteningly appropriate. Raish commands the League of Assassins, a worldwide organization of killers trained to perfection. He has lived for centuries thanks to the Lazarus Pits, mystical pools that restore youth and heal injuries at the cost of temporary madness. His goals are simultaneously noble and monstrous: save the Earth by eliminating most of humanity. What makes Ray's particularly compelling is his respect for Batman. Using detective skills that rival the Dark Knight's own, Ray's deduces Batman's secret identity through careful analysis of purchases and activities. But rather than exploit this knowledge for destruction, he sees opportunity. In Batman, Ray's recognizes a man of comparable will and ability, someone worthy of inheriting his empire and continuing his mission. The introduction of Talia al Ghul adds layers of complexity to this relationship. Beautiful, deadly, and genuinely in love with Batman, she becomes the most significant romantic interest in his life. Unlike previous love interests who represented normal life Bruce could never have, Talia understands his mission because she was raised in a similar world of shadows and purpose. Their attraction is genuine, their chemistry undeniable, yet they are forever divided by their father's war. Batman's battles with Rays take him far from Gotham's familiar streets. He fights assassins in Swiss Alps, infiltrates hidden fortresses in Asian mountains, prevents worldwide catastrophes from African deserts. These stories expand Batman's competence beyond street crime to international intrigue. He becomes not just Gotham's protector, but a guardian against threats to all humanity. The philosophical conflict between Batman and Rasp proves as important as their physical confrontations. Both men have witnessed humanity's capacity for evil. Both seek to impose order on chaos. But where Batman believes in redemption and justice, Rasp embraces elimination and ecological balance. Their debates carry genuine weight because both positions have merit. Is humanity worth saving if it destroys the planet? Can mass murder ever serve the greater good? These questions elevate their conflict beyond simple hero versus villain dynamics. As Batman returns to his darker roots, so too does his greatest enemy evolve. The Joker of the 70s abandons harmless pranks for genuine atrocity. This transformation is perhaps best exemplified in the Joker's five-way revenge, where the clown prince of crime hunts down former gang members who he believes betrayed him, killing them in grotesquely creative ways that recall his earliest appearances. This restored Joker is genuinely terrifying. His crimes serve no purpose beyond spreading chaos and pain. He poisons the water supply not for ransom but to see how many die. He murders randomly, selecting victims through twisted logic only he understands. His supposed insanity masks a brilliant criminal mind capable of complex planning and psychological manipulation. Most disturbingly, he seems to understand Batman better than anyone else, recognizing their relationship as destined and eternal. The dynamic between Batman and Joker deepens beyond simple adversarial conflict. They become philosophical opposites. Order versus chaos, sanity versus madness, meaning versus meaninglessness. The Joker's crimes often seem designed specifically to challenge Batman's worldview, to prove that justice is an illusion and life is one big joke, with death as the punchline. He targets not just Batman's body but his soul, trying to corrupt the incorruptible. What makes their 70s encounters particularly memorable is the genuine danger Joker represents. When he escapes Arkham Asylum, and he always escapes, bodies pile up quickly. His unpredictability makes him impossible to profile or anticipate. He might target a birthday party or a board meeting, might use poison or explosives or his bare hands. The only certainty is that people will die until Batman stops him. Yet even as Joker's crimes grow more horrific, moments of strange connection emerge between the enemies. In quiet scenes between violence, they sometimes talk almost like old friends, acknowledging their bizarre interdependence. Joker seems to commit crimes partly to draw Batman out, to continue their eternal dance. Batman, for his part, shows more emotional investment in stopping Joker than any other villain, as if recognizing him as his truest opposite. The establishment of Arkham Asylum as Joker's regular residence adds gothic atmosphere to their conflict. This institution for the criminally insane, with its dripping walls and screaming inmates, becomes a recurring setting for stories. It represents Gotham's attempt to medicalize evil, to treat crime as mental illness. Yet Arkham's revolving door policy, villains escape with alarming regularity, suggests the futility of containing forces like the Joker through conventional means. The Bronze Age brings new complexity to Batman's romantic life, moving beyond simple will they, won't they dynamics to explore how his mission affects intimate relationships. Silver St. Cloud represents perhaps the most mature and tragic of these romances, a woman who loves Bruce Wayne but cannot accept Batman. Silver is introduced as Bruce's intellectual and social equal, a successful businesswoman who moves in Gotham's elite circles. Their relationship develops naturally, with genuine chemistry and compatibility. She challenges Bruce intellectually, makes him laugh, and seems to offer the possibility of a life beyond crime fighting. For a brief period, Bruce allows himself to imagine a future with her. But Silver is too intelligent to be fooled indefinitely. Through careful observation and deduction, she realizes that Bruce Wayne and Batman are one and the same. The revelation doesn't come through dramatic unmasking, but quiet certainty, built from accumulated evidence. Her horror isn't at the deception, but at the danger, at loving a man who risks his life nightly and will inevitably prioritize strangers' safety over their relationship. Their breakup is handled with unusual maturity for superhero comics. There's no misunderstanding to be resolved, no villain forcing them apart. Silver simply cannot live with the constant fear, cannot build a life with someone whose true love is a mission that will likely kill him. She leaves, not in anger but in sorrow, both of them understanding that love isn't always enough. The relationship with Talia al Ghul provides a different kind of tragedy. Here is a woman who fully understands Batman's world, who accepts and even admires his dangerous life. But she is her father's daughter, raised in a cult of assassins, committed to goals Batman must oppose. Their love is genuine but doomed by irreconcilable ideologies. Every romantic moment is shadowed by the knowledge that they will inevitably stand on opposite sides of deadly conflict. These failed romances accumulate into a pattern that defines Bruce's personal life. He is capable of love, but incapable of compromise. The mission always comes first, will always come first. Women who love Bruce Wayne discover they're competing with Batman, and Batman always wins. This emotional isolation, self-imposed but no less painful, adds psychological depth to the character. Even brief romantic encounters carry weight during this period. Bruce's relationships become increasingly transactional. He maintains his playboy image through public dating, but holds back his true self. The women become props in his performance, necessary for maintaining his cover, but kept at emotional distance. It's a lonely existence that explains why he will eventually seek family through other means. The introduction of the second Robin brings both familiar patterns and new complications to Batman's world. Jason Todd's initial origin deliberately echoes Dick Grayson's: another circus acrobat, another orphan, another boy with reddish hair who even chooses to dye it black to look more like his predecessor. It's as if Batman is trying to recreate his greatest success, to prove that Robin was a role rather than a unique individual. But this very similarity highlights crucial differences. Where Dick was eager and optimistic, Jason carries an edge of anger that resonates with Batman's own darkness. He doesn't want to bring light to the shadows, he wants to punish those who create them. His enthusiasm for violence, his quick temper, his willingness to cross lines Dick never approached, all these traits make him simultaneously more like Batman and more dangerous. The relationship between Bruce and Jason lacks the natural warmth that characterized his partnership with Dick. Bruce seems to be going through the motions, trying to recapture something lost rather than building something new. He's harder on Jason, less patient with mistakes, perhaps recognizing his own worst impulses reflected in the boy's aggression. The training is more intense, the standards higher, the emotional distance greater. Jason's Robin is effective but troubling. He gets results through intimidation, leaves criminals more damaged than necessary, shows little of Dick's compassion for victims. Bruce finds himself in the uncomfortable position of restraining his partner's violence rather than being restrained himself. The dynamic is inverted, unstable, fraught with tension that readers sense will explode eventually. Yet there are moments of genuine connection. Jason's rough edges come from pain as deep as Bruce's own. When he drops the tough act, a wounded child emerges, desperate for approval and belonging. Bruce sees himself in that pain, tries to guide Jason toward using it constructively. These glimpses of vulnerability make Jason's eventual fate all the more tragic. The presence of a new Robin also affects the broader Batman family. Dick, now operating as Nightwing, watches his replacement with mixed emotions: relief at being free to forge his own identity, concern about Jason's violence, perhaps jealousy at seeing another in the role he defined. Alfred serves Jason with professional dedication but personal reserve, missing Dick's warmth while worrying about this angry young man's influence on Bruce. As the 80s progress, Batman's world grows increasingly dark and complex. His rogues gallery evolves to match the grittier tone. Killer Croc emerges from the sewers as a cannibalistic monster. The ventriloquist brings psychological horror through his murderous dummy Scarface, and established villains like Two-Face and Scarecrow develop deeper pathologies and more disturbing methods. The stories explore Batman's psychology with unprecedented depth. Writers examine the trauma that drives him, the questionable mental health of a man who dresses as a bat to fight crime, the thin line between his methods and those of the villains he opposes. Is Batman a hero, or a deeply disturbed individual whose wealth and skills allow him to act out violent fantasies? The comics don't provide easy answers. This introspection extends to Batman's relationship with Gotham itself. The city is portrayed as fundamentally corrupt, perhaps irredeemably so. Crime bosses like Rupert Thorne and later Carmine Falcone control legitimate businesses and government offices. The police department is riddled with corruption, with Gordon representing a rare island of integrity. Batman fights not just individual criminals, but systemic rot that regenerates faster than he can cut it out. The physical toll of Batman's mission becomes increasingly apparent. He accumulates injuries that don't magically heal between issues. His body bears scars from countless battles. He pushes through pain that would cripple normal men, relying on will and obsession rather than superhuman durability. This vulnerability makes his achievements more impressive while highlighting the ultimate unsustainability of his war. International threats draw Batman beyond Gotham with increasing frequency. He encounters Lady Shiva, perhaps the world's deadliest martial artist, and barely survives. He faces the terrorist organization Cobra, whose scope rivals Ra's al Ghul's League of Assassins. These conflicts test Batman's abilities and force him to acknowledge that Gotham's problems are part of larger global patterns of violence and corruption. The approaching crisis on Infinite Earths casts shadows over all DC comics, and Batman is no exception. Reality itself seems unstable, with characters experiencing déjà vu and contradictory memories. The cosmic scope of the coming crisis seems at odds with Batman's street-level focus, yet he prepares with characteristic thoroughness, creating contingency plans for threats he can barely comprehend. The post-crisis era begins with Frank Miller's Batman Year One, a groundbreaking reimagining that strips away decades of accumulated mythology to return to the essential question: how does a man become Batman? This isn't the confident vigilante who appeared fully formed in 1939, but a young man fumbling toward his destiny, making mistakes that nearly cost him his life. Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham after years of training abroad, but training isn't the same as experience. His first night out is a disaster. Dressed in simple street clothes and a fake scar, he's stabbed by a pimp and shot by police, barely escaping with his life. Bleeding in Wayne Manor, contemplating failure, he experiences the legendary moment when a bat crashes through his window. But Miller makes even this iconic scene ambiguous. Is it destiny or delusion? Is Bruce Wayne finding his symbol or having a hallucination brought on by blood loss? The story runs parallel with James Gordon's arrival in Gotham, creating a dual narrative of two men trying to bring justice to a corrupt city through very different means. Gordon faces a police force so dirty that his own partner leaves him to die in a burning building. His affair with fellow officer Sarah Essen adds human weakness to his heroic persona. He's a good man in an impossible situation, trying to stay clean while navigating a system designed to corrupt. Batman's early career is marked by spectacular failures and narrow victories. He disrupts a dinner party of Gotham's elite, warning them that their feast is nearly over, but the theatrical gesture nearly gets him killed when the police respond with overwhelming force. He saves lives but causes property damage. He inspires hope but also fear among those he's trying to protect. This is Batman as urban legend in formation, not yet the polished superhero, but something raw and dangerous. There's something raw. The relationship between Batman and Gordon develops through mutual necessity rather than immediate trust. Gordon deduces Batman's identity. The man investigating Bruce Wayne's connection to Batman would have to be blind not to see the truth, but chooses not to act on this knowledge. Their partnership is born from pragmatism. Gordon needs someone who can operate outside the law. Batman needs someone inside the system. Trust will come later, built on accumulated actions rather than words. Miller's Gotham is a character unto itself, a city of perpetual night where it's always raining or about to rain. The architecture is oppressive Art Deco, creating valleys of shadow between monolithic buildings. This is a city that feels sick, where corruption isn't an aberration but the natural state. Batman isn't trying to save Gotham so much as perform triage, stopping the bleeding while knowing the patient may be terminal. The evolution of Batman's early career continues through stories like The Long Halloween, which explores the transition of Gotham from a city ruled by traditional organized crime to one dominated by costumed supervillains. This year-long mystery shows Batman still learning, still making mistakes, still believing he can save everyone if he's just smart enough and works hard enough. The partnership between Batman, Gordon, and Harvey Dent forms the story's emotional core. These three men represent different approaches to justice: vigilante action, legal authority, and prosecutorial power. Their alliance seems to offer hope for Gotham's future, a way to attack crime from multiple angles. The tragedy is that we know it's doomed. Harvey's transformation into Two-Face is inevitable, making every moment of friendship and hope painful in retrospect. The holiday killings, murders that occur on holidays throughout the year, present Batman with a different kind of challenge. This isn't a costumed villain with a gimmick, but a methodical killer targeting the crime families who have ruled Gotham for generations. Batman must become a detective in the truest sense, following clues and building theories rather than simply intimidating thugs for information. The story showcases Gotham's criminal evolution in real time. The Falcone and Maroni crime families represent the old order, brutal but comprehensible, operating by codes that make sense even if they're morally reprehensible. But figures like Joker, Scarecrow, and Poison Ivy represent something new and terrifying. Criminals whose motives transcend money or power, who commit crimes as artistic expression or ideological statement. Harvey Dent's fall provides the story's tragic spine. We watch a good man ground down by the pressure of fighting an unwinnable war. His acid scarring is just the physical manifestation of spiritual damage already inflicted by Gotham's relentless corruption. When he becomes Two-Face, it feels less like transformation than revelation. The darkness was always there, waiting for permission to emerge. The mystery's resolution, or lack thereof, speaks to the noir influences that increasingly shape Batman stories. There's no clean ending, no moment where justice triumphs completely. The old crime families are broken but replaced by something worse. The killer's identity remains ambiguous, with multiple valid interpretations. Batman saves some, but not all. Stops some crimes while others succeed. Its victory measured in inches rather than miles. Barbara Gordon's introduction as Batgirl represents both progress and complication for the Batman mythology. The daughter of Commissioner Gordon, she begins her vigilante career not from tragedy, but from inspiration, wanting to help people the way Batman does. Her origin is refreshingly free of dead parents or childhood trauma. She simply sees a need and decides to fill it. This Batgirl is independent in ways previous female characters in Batman's orbit were not. She doesn't seek Batman's permission or training. She makes her own costume, develops her own methods, solves her own cases. When she finally encounters Batman and Robin, it's as an equal rather than a subordinate. Her intelligence and determination earn their respect, even as her independence frustrates Batman's controlling nature. The relationship between Barbara and Dick Grayson adds young romance to the Batman family dynamic. They're of similar age, share similar ideals, and understand the unique pressures of the vigilante life. Their flirtation and eventual romance feels natural, two young people finding connection amidst the darkness. It also creates interesting tensions, professional competition mixing with personal attraction. Barbara's presence challenges Batman's methods and assumptions. She proves that not everyone needs tragedy to fight for justice, that heroism can come from empathy rather than pain. Her lighter approach to crime fighting, complete with puns and acrobatics that recall Dick's early days as Robin, provides tonal variety in increasingly dark stories. She represents hope that the next generation might find better balance than their mentors. The dynamic between Barbara and her father adds another layer of complexity. Gordon knows, must know, that his daughter is Batgirl, just as he knows Bruce Wayne is Batman. But acknowledging either truth would force actions neither wants to take, so they maintain their facades, each pretending ignorance to protect the other. It's a very human form of denial that speaks to the compromises families make. But Barbara's story takes a horrific turn that will define not just her character, but the entire Batman mythology for decades. The event that transforms her from Batgirl to Oracle represents one of comics' most controversial and influential moments, a stark reminder that in Batman's world, heroism carries devastating costs. Jason Todd's death stands as perhaps the watershed moment in Batman's modern history, the event that crystallizes the darkness that had been accumulating since the Bronze Age began. The story starts with Jason's search for his birth mother, a quest that seems to offer the orphaned boy a chance at reclaiming lost family. Instead, it leads him directly into the Joker's hands. The sequence of events carries the weight of Greek tragedy. Jason discovers his mother, Sheila Haywood, is being blackmailed by the Joker over her past involvement in illegal medical supplies. Despite Batman's warnings to wait, Jason rushes in alone, believing he can save her. His mother's betrayal, she delivers him to the Joker to protect her own secrets, is a gut punch that recalls the worst noir traditions. Family doesn't save, family destroys. What follows is one of the most brutal sequences in mainstream comics. The Joker beats Jason with a crowbar, the sound effects of metal striking flesh carrying more horror than any graphic depiction could. This isn't cartoon violence, but genuine torture, made worse by Joker's running commentary and laughter. Jason tries to protect his mother, even after her betrayal, showing heroism that makes his fate even more tragic. The explosion that kills Jason and Sheila is both ending and beginning. Batman arrives seconds too late, finding Jason's broken body in the rubble. The image of Batman cradling his dead son has become iconic, representing the ultimate failure of his mission. He couldn't protect the boy he trained, the child he was supposed to guide and guard. Every fear about taking on young partners has been realized in the worst possible way. The aftermath reveals Batman at his most human and most broken. He considers killing the Joker, coming closer than ever before to crossing his fundamental line. He retreats into himself, becoming more brutal with criminals as if punishing them for Jason's death. The cave fills with memorials. Jason's costume in a glass case, a constant reminder of failure. Alfred watches his surrogate son descend into darkness, deeper than any since his parents' death. Perhaps most significantly, Jason's death occurs partially through reader participation. DC Comics allowed fans to vote on whether Jason would survive, and they chose death by a narrow margin. This metatextual element adds disturbing weight. The audience became complicit in a child's murder. It reflects the darker appetites of comic readers in the 1980s, while creating a death that could never be easily reversed without acknowledging this collective decision. If Jason's death represents Batman's greatest failure as a mentor, the events of The Killing Joke showcase his inability to protect those closest to him from the random cruelty of his world. The Joker's attack on Barbara Gordon isn't about Batman initially. It's about proving a philosophical point about the arbitrary nature of sanity and morality. Barbara is simply a means to an end, which makes her suffering even more senseless. The attack itself is shocking in its simplicity and brutality. Joker arrives at the Gordon apartment, shoots Barbara through the spine, then photographs her wounded body. There's no elaborate death trap, no opportunity for last-minute rescue. Just a doorbell, a gun, and a life changed forever. Barbara's paralysis is immediate and permanent, transforming Batgirl into a memory in seconds. But the physical assault is only the beginning. Joker's true target is Commissioner Gordon's sanity. He kidnaps the Commissioner, strips him naked, and forces him through a funhouse ride featuring blown-up photographs of his wounded daughter. It's psychological torture designed to break Gordon's mind, to prove that one bad day can transform anyone into the Joker. The fact that Gordon endures without breaking becomes a triumph of human resilience over nihilistic philosophy. The parallel story of Joker's possible origin, the failed comedian who loses his pregnant wife and turns to crime, only to fall into a vat of chemicals, adds layers of ambiguity. Is this true history or another of Joker's lies? Does it matter? The suggestion that Joker was once an ordinary man who snapped makes his actions more terrifying. If he could break, anyone could break. If Batman had one worse day, could he become something equally monstrous? Batman's response to these events shows him struggling with his own moral boundaries. He wants to help the Joker, to prove that recovery is possible, that people can be saved from their worst selves. This compassion in the face of such evil is either Batman's greatest strength or his fatal weakness. The ambiguous ending, did Batman finally kill the Joker, or simply share a laugh at the cosmic joke of their existence, leaves readers to decide. Barbara's transformation from Batgirl to Oracle becomes one of comics' most powerful examples of adapting to tragedy. Rather than being defined by her injury, she creates a new identity that proves more influential than her original role. As Oracle, she becomes the information broker for the entire superhero community, proving that heroism isn't limited to physical action. Her evolution shows that in Batman's world, surviving tragedy can lead to unexpected growth. The arrival of Tim Drake represents a fundamental shift in the Robin legacy. Unlike his predecessors who were found by Batman, Tim essentially volunteers for the position through detective work that would impress the Dark Knight himself. As a young boy, he had seen the Flying Graysons perform, memorizing Dick's quadruple somersault. Years later, seeing Robin perform the same move, he deduces the connection between Dick Grayson and Robin, and from there, Batman's identity. But Tim doesn't want to be Robin himself, at least not initially. He approaches Dick Grayson, now Nightwing, arguing that Batman needs a Robin to maintain his psychological balance. He's observed Batman's increasing brutality since Jason's death and correctly diagnoses the problem. Batman without Robin becomes too dark, too isolated, potentially too dangerous. It's a remarkably mature analysis from a 13-year-old, showing wisdom beyond his years. The process of convincing Batman to take on another Robin is painful for everyone involved. Bruce has sworn never again, the wound of Jason's death still fresh and bleeding. He can't bear the thought of another child's blood on his hands. But Tim's persistence, intelligence, and genuine concern for Batman's well-being gradually wear down his defenses. When Tim helps save Batman and Nightwing from Two-Face, his potential becomes undeniable. Tim's training period is longer and more comprehensive than his predecessors. Batman, determined not to repeat past mistakes, insists on complete preparation before allowing Tim into the field. This includes not just physical training, but psychological evaluation, strategic thinking, and even a broad training with various masters. Tim must prove himself ready intellectually and emotionally, not just physically. What distinguishes Tim from previous Robins is his approach to the role. Where Dick was the laughing daredevil and Jason the angry fighter, Tim is the analytical detective. He approaches crime fighting like a chess match, thinking multiple moves ahead. He's the first Robin who seems like he could actually become a detective on Batman's level, rather than just a junior fighter. His computer skills and strategic mind make him invaluable in an increasingly digital world. The family dynamic with Tim is healthier than Batman's previous partnerships. Tim has a living father, Jack Drake, which means he must balance his Robin duties with maintaining a civilian life. This grounding in normalcy helps prevent the total absorption into the mission that consumed Bruce. Tim can be Robin without losing Tim Drake, maintaining perspective that his predecessors lacked. The saga of Bane and Batman's breaking represents the physical manifestation of years of accumulated damage. Bane isn't just another strong villain, but a dark mirror of Batman himself, orphaned, self-made, driven by iron will and careful planning. His systematic approach to destroying Batman shows understanding that goes beyond physical confrontation to psychological warfare. The release of Arkham's inmates is tactical genius in its simplicity. Batman must face his entire rogues gallery in sequence, each battle draining his resources and energy. Bane doesn't just watch, he studies, learning Batman's patterns and weaknesses. By the time they finally confront each other, Batman has been fighting for days without rest, pushed beyond even his extraordinary limits. Their confrontation in Wayne Manor violates Batman's most sacred space. This isn't a battle in the streets or some villain's lair, but in Bruce's home, where his parents' portrait watches from the wall. Bane doesn't just want to defeat Batman, he wants to destroy Bruce Wayne. The systematic demolition, both physical and psychological, shows Bane as perhaps Batman's most complete enemy. The breaking itself has become one of comics' most iconic images, Bane lifting Batman overhead and bringing him down across his knee, the sound effect cracked, conveying the shattering of spine and spirit. This isn't temporary defeat, but complete destruction. Batman doesn't lose a fight. He's systematically unmade. The image of Bane throwing Batman's broken body into the street like garbage completes the humiliation. Bruce's replacement by Jean-Paul Valley as Batman creates a cautionary tale about the dangers of the vigilante mindset without moral constraints. Valley, programmed since birth as the religious assassin Azrael, initially seems an adequate replacement. He's skilled, determined, and effective. But without Bruce's moral center and humanizing relationships, he quickly devolves into an armored fascist, more punisher than protector. The new Batman's excesses, allowing criminals to die, brutalizing even minor offenders, turning the costume into increasingly elaborate armor, show what Batman could become without Bruce Wayne's humanity. Valley isn't evil, but programmed, unable to see beyond the narrow parameters of his conditioning. His Batman is effective at stopping crime, but terrifying to everyone, including those he supposedly protects. Bruce Wayne's recovery and reclamation of the Batman identity is as much spiritual journey as physical rehabilitation. Healed by the same therapist who trained Bane, Bruce must rebuild not just his body, but his understanding of why he's Batman. The easy path would be to become like Valley or Bane, purely focused on physical dominance. Instead, Bruce rediscovers the detective, the protector, the man beneath the monster. The confrontation between Bruce and Valley for the right to be Batman isn't settled through strength, but through wisdom. Bruce uses Valley's psychological conditioning against him, forcing him to confront the contradictions in his programming. It's a victory of the original Batman's methodology. Understanding an opponent's mind matters more than overwhelming their body. Dick Grayson's brief tenure as Batman during Bruce's recovery provides another model of what Batman could be. Dick brings his natural charisma and lighter touch to the role, proving effective while maintaining his humanity. But he also struggles with the weight of the symbol, the impossibility of filling Bruce's obsessive devotion. His voluntary return of the mantle shows wisdom. He can be Batman, but he chooses to remain Nightwing. The aftermath of Nightfall sees permanent changes to Batman's world. His body, while healed, bears new limitations. He can't rely purely on physical dominance anymore, must work smarter rather than just harder. The Batcave's security is completely rebuilt, acknowledging that home isn't the sanctuary it once was. Most significantly, Bruce's relationships with his allies deepen. He can't do this alone anymore, and finally accepts that fact. No Man's Land represents the ultimate test of everything Batman has learned and become. When Gotham is devastated by earthquake and abandoned by the government, Batman faces a choice: abandon the city like everyone else, or stay and fight for a possibly doomed cause. His decision to stay, and more importantly to inspire others to stay and fight, shows growth from the isolated vigilante of his early years. The year-long saga of a lawless Gotham transforms Batman from vigilante to symbol of hope. He can't punch an earthquake or intimidate rubble. Instead, he must organize, inspire, and lead. Working with Gordon, Oracle, and various allies, he helps create order from chaos. The Batman who emerges from no man's land is more complete, still the Dark Knight, but also a beacon of hope in absolute darkness. The new millennium brings a story that fundamentally challenges Batman's relationship with his allies and his own moral certainty. Tower of Babel begins with seemingly random attacks on Justice League members. Martian Manhunter is covered with nanites that turn his skin into magnesium, causing him to burst into flame upon contact with air. Aquaman is injected with a modified fear toxin that makes him aquaphobic. Wonder Woman is trapped in a virtual reality combat scenario that accelerates until she has a heart attack. These aren't random villain attacks, but precisely targeted strikes using each hero's specific weaknesses. The revelation that these protocols come from Batman's own files, stolen and implemented by Ra's al Ghul, creates a crisis that goes beyond physical threat to the heart of trust and friendship. Batman has created detailed plans to neutralize every one of his allies, his friends, the people who have saved his life countless times. The individual protocols reveal the depth of Batman's paranoia and planning. For Superman, a synthetic red kryptonite that causes painful, uncontrolled shape-shifting. For Flash, a light-speed seizure that locks him in place. For Green Lantern, a post-hypnotic suggestion that makes him blind, unable to use his ring effectively. Each plan is non-lethal but devastating, designed to completely incapacitate without killing. A line Batman maintains even in his betrayal. The League's reaction ranges from hurt to fury. Wonder Woman, Warrior-born, sees this as unforgivable betrayal. Martian Manhunter, whose telepathic nature makes trust essential, feels most violated. Even Superman, Batman's closest friend among the heroes, struggles to understand how Bruce could do this. The vote to expel Batman from the League is painful but inevitable. How can they work with someone who has plotted their destruction? But the story refuses simple condemnation. When Ra's implements the plans, they work too well. The League is crippled, unable to respond to Ra's larger scheme involving the destruction of language itself, a plan to reduce humanity to babbling chaos. It's Batman who must fix what he caused, working alone to save teammates who no longer trust him. His success doesn't erase the betrayal, but complicates judgment. Batman's defense of his actions is characteristically logical and cold. The League members have godlike power. If any are mind-controlled, corrupted, or simply go rogue, they could destroy the world. Someone needs contingency plans. That he didn't tell them maintains the plan's effectiveness. It's tactical thinking taken to its paranoid extreme, treating friends as potential future enemies. The aftermath of Tower of Babel creates lasting changes in Batman's relationship with the superhero community. While he eventually rejoins the League, the dynamic is forever altered. His seat at the table comes with unspoken awareness. Everyone knows Batman has plans to take them down. Some find this reassuring, others threatening, but none can forget it. This new dynamic actually strengthens Batman's position in some ways. His willingness to be the pragmatist, to think the unthinkable, makes him invaluable for certain discussions. When the League faces morally grey decisions, they turn to Batman, knowing he's already considered every dark possibility. He becomes the team's designated pessimist, the one who asks, "What if we're wrong?" or "What if this goes bad?" Superman and Batman's friendship survives but changes. Their regular meetings in Metropolis or Gotham continue, But there's new awareness between them. Superman knows Batman has kryptonite and plans to use it. Batman knows Superman knows, yet they continue working together, their friendship now including this strange mutual threat. It's almost romantic in its dysfunction. I care about you, but I'm prepared to destroy you if necessary. Wonder Woman's relationship with Batman becomes particularly complex. As a warrior, she understands strategic thinking and contingency planning. Part of her respects Batman's foresight, even as she condemns his secrecy. Their attraction, always simmering beneath the surface, now includes this edge of danger. She knows he has plans to defeat her. He knows she might kill him if he tries. It adds tension to every interaction. The contingency plans incident also affects Batman's relationships within his own family. His allies wonder, does he have similar plans for them? The answer, when eventually revealed, is yes. He has psychological profiles, weakness assessments, and neutralization protocols for Robin, Nightwing, Oracle, everyone. It's both protective and paranoid, showing a man who trusts no one completely, not even himself. New members joining the League are now warned about Batman's protocols. It becomes part of orientation. By the way, Batman has plans to take you down if necessary. Some heroes refuse to join because of it. Others join specifically because of it, reassured that someone is thinking about these scenarios. The plans become institutionalized, with some heroes even contributing to their own defeat protocols. Batman's paranoia reaches its technological apex with the creation of Brother Eye, a satellite surveillance system designed to monitor metahuman activity globally. Built in secret after the Tower of Babel incident, Brother Eye represents Batman's attempt to systematize his mistrust, to create an impartial system for threat assessment that doesn't rely on human judgment. The satellite's capabilities are staggering. It can track any metahuman on Earth, analyze their activities, predict their behavior patterns. Brother Eye sees through walls, monitors electronic communications, maintains files on millions of individuals. It's Big Brother with a bat signal, watching everyone to protect everyone. Batman justifies it as necessary evil. If heroes can go rogue, someone needs to watch the Watchmen. But Batman's creation is hijacked by Maxwell Lord, turning Brother Eye into the command system for an army of OMACs, observational metahuman activity constructs. These nanovirus-infected humans can be activated to become superhuman warriors, ordinary people transformed into weapons against metahumans. Batman's paranoid fantasy becomes real nightmare as his own creation turns against the superhero community. The OMAC crisis forces Batman to confront the consequences of his paranoia. Thousands of innocent people are infected, turned into unwilling soldiers in a war they don't understand. Heroes are attacked by friends and loved ones, transformed into OMACs. The body count rises as Batman desperately tries to regain control of his creation, to shut down what he built, to protect. The resolution requires Batman to work with the heroes he distrusted, to share information he would normally hoard. Destroying Brother Eye means admitting his mistake publicly, taking responsibility for deaths caused by his creation. It's a humbling experience for someone who prides himself on always being right, on thinking through every contingency. He failed to contingency plan for his own fallibility. The OMAC incident creates new rifts in Batman's relationships. Some heroes who forgave Tower of Babel can't forgive this. Creating files is one thing. Creating an autonomous system that turns civilians into weapons is another. The fact that Batman lost control of it makes things worse. His paranoia made him sloppy. His secrecy prevented oversight that might have caught Lord's infiltration. The events of Infinite Crisis force Batman to confront fundamental questions about his identity and methods. When alternate versions of Superman, Wonder Woman, and other heroes appear, claiming the current heroes have lost their way, Batman finds himself in the uncomfortable position of being Exhibit A in their prosecution. His paranoia, his protocols, his satellite, all proof that Earth's heroes have become too dark, too compromised. The revelation that Batman nearly murdered Alexander Luthor but was stopped by Wonder Woman creates a crucial moment of self-reflection. He had a gun to Luthor's head, finger on the trigger, ready to cross the line he'd maintained for decades. That he stopped matters less than that he came so close. The Batman who once threw guns away in disgust had picked one up in desperation. This near fall precipitates a spiritual crisis. Batman realizes he's lost his way, that his war on crime has become so consuming it's corrupted his original purpose. He decides to return to his roots, to retrace the journey that created Batman. Taking Tim and Dick with him, he embarks on a year-long pilgrimage, revisiting the places and people who trained him, trying to rediscover why he fights. The journey reveals how far Batman has strayed from his origins. Where once he sought justice for his parents and protection for the innocent, he's become reactionary, planning for betrayals that haven't happened, creating weapons for wars that may never come. The teachers he revisits remind him that strength comes from purpose, not paranoia. Skills are tools. What matters is the hand that wields them. During his absence, Gotham doesn't fall apart. Harvey Dent, temporarily cured of his two-faced persona, serves as protector. Other heroes step up. The city survives without Batman, proving both that his mission has succeeded in inspiring others and that he's not as irreplaceable as he believed. It's humbling and freeing. Gotham needs a Batman, but not necessarily him specifically. The Batman who returns from this journey is renewed but not fundamentally changed. He's pulled back from the brink, rediscovered his purpose, strengthened his relationships. But the paranoia remains, tempered now by wisdom. He still maintains contingency plans, still builds safeguards against power corrupted. The difference is awareness. He knows these tendencies must be watched, controlled, balanced by trust and connection. The culmination of Batman's journey through divine crises comes with Final Crisis and his confrontation with Darkseid. The cosmic scope of the threat, the literal death of the new gods, and potential enslavement of all reality might seem beyond Batman's street-level expertise. Yet it's precisely Batman's human perspective that proves crucial in understanding and countering Darkseid's plan. While Superman battles Darkseid physically and Wonder Woman leads Earth's resistance, Batman does what he does best: detective work on a cosmic scale. He investigates the murder of Orion, traces the trajectory of the bullet that killed a god. His discovery that Darkseid has been hiding in human form, corrupting reality from within, shows that even gods can't escape the world's greatest detective. The confrontation between Batman and Darkseid is brief but momentous. Batman arrives armed with the one thing that can kill a god, the same bullet that killed Orion, now turned against its master. But using a gun, even against ultimate evil, represents a fundamental betrayal of Batman's principles. He acknowledges this, even as he pulls the trigger. "I made a very solemn vow about firearms, but for you, I'm making a once-in-a-lifetime exception." Darkseid's Omega beams strike Batman even as the bullet finds its mark. The visual is iconic. Batman standing defiant as reality itself bends around him, refusing to yield even as he's destroyed. But this isn't simple death. The Omega Sanction doesn't kill, but displaces, sending Batman tumbling through time, turned into a living weapon against the future he fought to protect. Superman finding Batman's body is one of comics' most powerful moments. The Man of Steel cradling his friend's corpse, refusing to accept the death, carries mythic weight. These aren't just heroes, but modern mythology's closest friends, the god and the man who stood as equals. Superman's grief is personal and symbolic. If Batman can fall, what hope does anyone have? But Batman's death is more complex than simple ending. Even as his body lies in state, his spirit, or time-displaced self, fights through history. He's a caveman drawing bat symbols on cave walls, a witch hunter in Puritan times, a cowboy in the Old West. Each era tests different aspects of his character, forcing adaptation while maintaining core identity. It's Batman stripped to essence, not gadgets or costume, but will and purpose. Batman's journey through time becomes a race against apocalypse. Darkseid's final gambit has turned Batman into a doomsday weapon. Each jump forward in time builds energy that will destroy reality when he reaches the present. His allies, understanding the threat, try to stop him from returning even as he fights to get home. It's the ultimate expression of Batman as dangerous ally. Even trying to help, he threatens everything. The historical periods Batman visits each reflect aspects of his mythology. In prehistoric times, he's the primal shadow, the first dark avenger. In Puritan America, he's the outsider accused of witchcraft, persecuted for being different. As a cowboy, he's the lone gunman who refuses to use guns. Each era offers temptation to remain, to find simpler purpose, but he pushes forward, driven by duty to his own time. The revelation of Darkseid's trap forces Batman's allies into impossible positions. They must stop their friend and mentor from returning home, knowing he won't understand why they're fighting him. Dick Grayson, serving as Batman in Bruce's absence, must prepare to battle his father figure. Tim Drake races through time trying to leave clues for Bruce while avoiding direct contact. Its family turned against itself by cosmic manipulation. Batman's solution showcases his greatest strength, preparation, and self-acknowledge. Even amnesiac and displaced, he maintains enough sense of self to recognize the trap. He arranges his own defeat, creating circumstances where his allies can stop him without destroying him. It requires trusting others with his life, believing they'll find a solution he cannot. For someone defined by self-reliance, it's the ultimate leap of faith. The moment of return is triumph and transformation. Batman defeats Darkseid's plan not through violence but through connection. The relationships he's built prove stronger than cosmic manipulation. He returns not as lone avenger but as part of a network, a family, a community. The experience forces acknowledgement of the first truth of Batman. He was never as alone as he believed. In 2011, reality itself undergoes another fundamental transformation. The Flash, running back through time to save his mother, creates a ripple effect that reshapes existence. When the timeline repairs itself, it's different in ways both subtle and profound. Heroes are younger, their histories compressed and altered. Relationships are reset, deaths undone, entire events erased from continuity. It's rebirth and loss simultaneously. For Batman, the changes are less dramatic than for many heroes. The core remains. Thomas and Martha die in Crime Alley. Bruce becomes Batman. He gathers allies and fights familiar foes. But the timeline is compressed impossibly. Events that took decades now happened in approximately 5 years. Batman has had 4 Robins in less time than most people attend university. It creates a frenetic energy that mirrors the modern world's acceleration. The new 52 Batman is younger but more accomplished, having achieved more in less time. He's been Batman for only a few years when we meet him, yet already has the full mythology in place. This compression creates interesting dynamics. Dick Grayson is Nightwing in his early 20s, having been Robin, quit, and established his own identity in record time. Everything moves faster in this new reality. Zero Year reimagines Batman's origin for modern times. The Red Hood gang terrorizes Gotham, while Bruce Wayne, publicly thought dead, operates from the shadows. The Riddler transforms from minor villain to major threat, actually succeeding in shutting down Gotham's power grid and turning the city into an overgrown wasteland. It's Batman's origin as disaster movie, reflecting contemporary fears about infrastructure failure and environmental collapse. The aesthetic changes reflect modern sensibilities. This Batman is more tech-savvy, using holographic interfaces and advanced computer systems from the start. His costume incorporates more armor and practical considerations. Gotham itself feels more like a real modern city, still gothic but recognizably contemporary. The villains update too, using social media and modern technology alongside their traditional gimmicks. Scott Snyder's run begins with a revelation that strikes at Batman's core competency. He doesn't know Gotham as well as he thinks. The Court of Owls, a secret society that has ruled Gotham from the shadows for centuries, should be exactly the kind of threat Batman would discover. That they've operated under his nose his entire career is both humiliating and terrifying. The court represents old Gotham, the aristocracy that predates even the Wayne family's prominence. They meet in hidden rooms throughout the city, wearing owl masks that mock Batman's animal motif. Their mythology runs deep. Nursery rhymes warn of their existence. Architectural spaces hide their presence. Their conspiracy theory made real, secret history Batman somehow missed. Their enforcers, the Talons, are particularly disturbing. These immortal assassins, preserved and resurrected through mysterious means, represent a perversion of Batman's own methods. Where he uses fear and shadow, they use death and resurrection. Where he refuses to kill, they exist only to kill. They're what Batman might be without moral constraints. Eternal soldiers in an endless war. The revelation that Dick Grayson was meant to be a Talon adds personal stakes. The court had marked him from birth, intended to claim him as their weapon. Only his parents' death and Bruce's intervention saved him from this fate. It recontextualizes Dick's entire history. Was meeting Bruce random chance or orchestrated event? The paranoid possibilities multiply endlessly. Batman's confrontation with the court pushes him to physical and psychological limits. Trapped in their labyrinth, drugged and hunted, he experiences vulnerability rarely shown. The controlled, prepared Batman is reduced to desperate survival, hallucinating and barely coherent. His escape requires not careful planning but brutal determination, punching through walls rather than solving puzzles. The court's eventual defeat doesn't feel complete. They're weakened but not destroyed, driven deeper underground but not eliminated. They represent something that can't be punched into submission, Gotham's fundamental corruption. The rot that existed before Batman and will exist after. He can fight symptoms, but not the disease itself. A humbling realization for someone who thought he could save his city through sufficient will. The Joker's return in Death of the Family takes his obsession with Batman to grotesque new extremes. Having cut off his own face and left it nailed to his cell wall, Joker returns wearing the rotting flesh as a mask. It's body horror that makes his usual appearance seem tame, a physical manifestation of his psychological decay. This isn't the dapper clown prince, but something more fundamentally disturbing. His plan targets not Batman directly, but the extended Bat family: Robin, Nightwing, Red Robin, Batgirl, Red Hood. even Alfred. Joker sees them as distractions, diluting the purity of his relationship with Batman. In his twisted logic, he's doing Batman a favor by removing these hangers-on, returning them to their original dynamic of arch-enemies locked in eternal conflict. The psychological warfare is precisely targeted. Joker demonstrates knowledge of the family's secret identities, invading their civilian lives with ease. He recreates traumatic moments, Jason's death, Barbara's shooting, forcing them to relive their worst experiences. Each attack is personalized, showing deep understanding of what will hurt most. It's terrorism aimed at very specific targets. Batman's response reveals the cracks in his family relationships. He's hidden information from them, keeping secrets even from those closest to him. The revelation that Joker might have known their identities all along, that Batman knew Joker knew but didn't tell them, creates trust issues that mirror Batman's relationship with the Justice League. His need for control, for being the keeper of dangerous knowledge, alienates those who love him most. The climactic dinner party, with Joker serving the family their own faces, revealed as a sick joke, using fake flesh, pushes grotesque comedy to its limits. But beneath the horror is genuine emotion. Joker really does believe he's helping Batman by removing distractions. His love for Batman is sincere in its twisted way. He's the abusive partner trying to isolate their victim, convinced their toxic relationship is all that matters. The story's conclusion leaves lasting damage. While the family survives physically, their trust in Batman is shaken. Each member takes time away, needing space from both the trauma and from Bruce's controlling nature. The Joker loses again, but achieves a form of victory. He's proven that Batman's connections to others are vulnerabilities, that the family Batman built can be turned against him. Grant Morrison's Batman Incorporated reaches its conclusions in the New 52, bringing the concept of Batman as global franchise to its logical extreme. Bruce Wayne publicly announces he's been funding Batman, creating plausible deniability while taking the operation international. It's Batman as corporate brand, with franchises in major cities worldwide. The various international Batmen reflect their cultures while maintaining core Batman principles. Japan's Mr. Unknown uses manga-influenced technology and style. France's Night Runner brings parkour to crime fighting. Argentina's El Gaucho combines Batman's methods with local traditions. Each represents Batman filtered through different cultural lenses, proving the symbol's universal adaptability. But this globalization comes with costs. Talia al Ghul sees Batman Incorporated as declaration of war, responding with Leviathan, her own international criminal organization. The conflict escalates beyond Gotham streets to worldwide battlegrounds, its parents using the planet as their custody battle, with devastating consequences for everyone caught between. Damian Wayne's death marks the story's emotional climax. Killed by his own clone, the heretic, Damian dies as he lived, violently, defiantly, trying to prove himself worthy. His death hits Bruce harder than Jason's, because this isn't an adopted son but biological child, someone he failed as both Batman and father. The grief is raw, primal, stripping away Batman's emotional armor. The aftermath shows Batman at his most human and inhuman simultaneously. He retreats into the cowl completely, abandoning Bruce Wayne as meaningless identity. His quest to resurrect Damian takes him to supernatural extremes, fighting gods and monsters for the chance to undo death. It's a parent's grief given superheroic expression, relatable emotion expressed through fantastic action. Batman Incorporated's dissolution following Damian's death represents failure of the corporate model. Batman can't be franchised, systematized, made into replicable brand. The symbol requires personal connection, individual dedication. Bruce's attempt to transcend his limitations through organization fails because Batman is ultimately about one person's response to trauma, not scalable business model. 0 Year expands Batman's origin into epic scope, showing how he becomes not just vigilante but Gotham's symbol. The story begins with Bruce Wayne declared dead, operating from brownstone under assumed names. This isn't the confident Batman but someone still figuring out his mission, making mistakes that nearly destroy the city he's trying to save. The Red Hood gang represents modern organized crime, tech-savvy, media-aware, using terrorism as business strategy. Their leader, eventually revealed as possible proto-Joker, pushes Bruce to become more than just skilled fighter. He must become symbol that transcends individual victories, something criminals fear even when he's not present. The transformation from vigilante to myth happens in real time. Edward Nygma's transformation into the Riddler carries particular weight. Starting as Wayne Enterprises' employee, he represents the danger of unchecked intelligence combined with wounded ego. His plan to shut down Gotham's power grid and transform it into overgrown proving grounds succeeds where most villains fail. For months, Gotham becomes post-apocalyptic wasteland ruled by riddles and death traps. This extended crisis forces Bruce to evolve rapidly. He can't just punch his way through city-wide catastrophe. He must inspire others, work with authorities, think strategically about rebuilding rather than just preventing crime. The Batman who emerges from 0 Year is more complete than traditional origins suggest. He's learned to be leader and symbol, not just fighter. The story's scope reflects modern superhero storytelling, bigger, more catastrophic, with higher stakes. But it maintains human element through Bruce's relationships with Alfred, Jim Gordon, and Lucius Fox. These connections ground the epic events, reminding us that beneath the costume and mythology is a young man trying to honor his parents' memory by saving their city. Following Batman's apparent death battling Joker, Gotham gets its most unexpected protector, James Gordon in mechanized batsuit. The super-heavy arc presents fascinating role reversal, with Gordon operating as official, sanctioned Batman, while Bruce Wayne lives peacefully with no memory of his vigilante career. It's wish fulfillment and nightmare simultaneously. Bruce gets the normal life he's always been denied, but at the cost of his purpose. Gordon's Batman is everything Bruce's isn't. Official, accountable, operating in daylight with full police support. The mechanical suit provides strength, Bruce achieved through training, but it's clunky, obvious, lacking the mythic quality that makes criminals fear the dark. Gordon tries his best but struggles with the gap between being good cop and being Batman. Mr. Bloom emerges as villain perfectly suited to this new dynamic, a mysterious figure who provides superpowered seeds to Gotham's desperate. He represents grassroots villainy, power to the people, but power that corrupts and destroys. His elongated, grotesque form mirrors the city's distortion under his influence. He's what happens when everyone tries to be their own superhero. Bruce's amnesia period shows who he might have been without trauma. He works at youth center, helps troubled kids, dates Julie Madison seriously. He's happy in ways we've never seen, unburdened by mission or memory. Alfred desperately protects this peace, destroying cave equipment to prevent triggering memories. It's beautiful and heartbreaking. Bruce Wayne finally at peace, but Gotham burning without Batman. The inevitability of Bruce's return carries tragic weight. Watching the city suffer, even without memories, he knows he must help. The moment of choosing to become Batman again, knowing it means losing his happiness, shows heroism beyond physical courage. He sacrifices not life, but peace, accepting the burden he'd briefly escaped. The hero returns, but we've seen the cost more clearly than ever. DC Rebirth brings another reality adjustment, gentler than previous reboots. Time has been stolen, relationships forgotten, but core truths remain. For Batman, this means reconciling different versions of his history, the young hero of the New 52 with the veteran of previous continuities. He's simultaneously new and experienced, fresh and weathered. The revelation of 3 Jokers explains long-standing continuity issues while creating new mysteries. There isn't one Joker but 3, each representing different aspects: the criminal, the clown, the demon. It recontextualizes every Joker story, suggesting deeper patterns behind apparent randomness. Batman's greatest enemy isn't one man, but idea made flesh in multiple forms. This era brings new focus on family dynamics. The Bat family expands and contracts, with tensions between Bruce's controlling nature and his allies' independence. Duke Thomas joins as new type of hero, operating in daylight as the Signal. Harper Row brings tech expertise and outsider perspective. The Cave becomes crowded with young heroes, each representing different approach to justice. Batman's proposal to Catwoman represents emotional growth, acknowledging need for connection beyond the mission. Their relationship, built over decades of attraction and conflict, offers hope for balance between Batman and Bruce Wayne. The proposal on Rooftop, where they fought countless times, shows transformation of conflict into commitment. But happiness remains elusive in Batman's world. The wedding that doesn't happen reinforces the character's essential tragedy. He's defined by loss, driven by pain, sustained by mission that precludes normal joy. Whether manipulated by Bane or choosing duty over love, Batman remains isolated by purpose. The near miss at happiness makes the return to solitude more poignant. Looking back into Batman's early career, we discover a previously untold chapter that reshapes our understanding of his formative years. The War of Jokes and Riddles presents a Gotham torn apart not by heroes and villains, but by villains against each other, with Batman caught in the middle, trying to minimize casualties in a conflict he can't stop. The war begins with Joker's depression. Unable to laugh, unable to find joy in chaos, he becomes catatonic. The Riddler, seeing opportunity in Joker's weakness, attempts to kill him and claim position as Batman's primary nemesis. This attempted murder sparks city-wide conflict as Gotham's villains choose sides, Team Joker versus Team Riddler, with innocents caught in crossfire. Batman's position during the war is uniquely helpless. He can't arrest everyone simultaneously, can't be everywhere at once. He's reduced to damage control, saving who he can while the city burns around him. The moral compromises required, working with villains to stop worse villains, allowing some crimes to prevent greater atrocities. Wear on his soul in ways physical combat never could. The war's climax comes, not through grand battle but intimate moment. Riddler, captured and defenseless, gloats about the destruction, the deaths, the proof that Batman's mission is futile. Batman picks up a knife, holds it to Riddler's throat, and nearly crosses the line that defines him. Only Joker's intervention, stopping Batman from killing, prevents the unthinkable. This secret history explains much about Batman's relationship with both villains. Joker saved Batman's soul by preventing him from becoming a killer. Riddler knows how close he came to breaking the Bat. The war's end brings no victory, only exhausted cessation of hostilities and memory of how close Gotham came to complete destruction, how close Batman came to becoming what he fights. The discovery of the comedian's button in the Batcave represents an intrusion of impossible knowledge. This artifact from another universe, specifically the Watchmen universe, shouldn't exist in Batman's reality. Its presence suggests manipulation on cosmic scale, forces beyond even Batman's considerable experience meddling with existence itself. Batman's investigation with Flash takes them through time and alternate realities, revealing the scope of Dr. Manhattan's interference. They witness Thomas Wayne as Batman in the Flashpoint timeline, still alive in this divergent reality where Bruce died instead. The meeting between Bruce and Thomas is brutally short, but emotionally devastating. A son seeing the father he lost, a father seeing what his son became. Thomas Wayne's message to Bruce is harsh but loving. Stop being Batman. Find happiness. Live the life Thomas's death denied him. It's paternal advice delivered through interdimensional crisis, practical wisdom from someone who knows the cost of the cowl. Bruce's inability to follow this advice speaks to how fundamentally the mission defines him. The larger implications of Manhattan's involvement reframe recent reality changes. The New 52, the missing time, the altered relationships, all potentially the result of a godlike being's curiosity about hope in darkness. Batman represents something Manhattan lost: the ability to care despite knowing how stories end, to fight though victory is temporary. This cosmic mystery grounds itself in personal stakes. The button isn't just evidence of universal manipulation, but reminder of Batman's defining trauma. The Watchmen connection suggests Batman's pain has multiversal significance, that his response to tragedy resonates across realities. It's simultaneously aggrandizing and diminishing. He matters on cosmic scale, but remains pawn to forces beyond comprehension. The revelation of the dark multiverse transforms Batman's understanding of reality. Beyond the known multiverse exists a realm of failed realities, cosmic mistakes that should have been destroyed but persist in twisted forms. Batman's investigation into mysterious metals and ancient mysteries awakens Barbatos, demon of the dark multiverse, seeking to invade prime reality. The Dark Knights, evil Batmen from failed realities, represent Batman's worst fears made manifest. The Batman who laughs combines Batman's skills with Joker's insanity. The Drowned is Batman who murdered Aquaman and flooded the world. The Merciless killed Wonder Woman and took her power. Each shows what Batman could become if he broke his rules, if tragedy pushed him past redemption. These aren't simple evil duplicates, but logical extremes of Batman's character. Each began as heroic Batman facing impossible loss, choosing darkness to prevent greater tragedy. Their monstrosity comes from good intentions corrupted, heroic drives pushed past sanity. Their cautionary tales Batman must face, seeing his own potential for evil reflected infinitely. The crisis requires Batman to embrace aspects of himself he usually suppresses. He must work with Joker, accepting their connection as fundamental force. He must trust his allies completely, abandoning control for cooperation. Most difficult, he must hope, choosing to believe in good outcomes despite all evidence suggesting futility. The resolution involves Batman becoming something more than human, briefly channeling cosmic forces, wielding power that could corrupt absolutely. His ability to relinquish this power, to return to being just Batman, shows strength beyond physical might. He faces godhood and chooses humanity, understanding that Batman's power comes from limitation, from being mortal facing immortal threats. Bruce Wayne's proposal to Selina Kyle represents unprecedented emotional risk. After decades of attraction, conflict, and mutual understanding, he offers not just partnership but complete vulnerability. The proposal acknowledges what readers have long known. Catwoman understands Batman in ways no one else can, accepts both sides of his identity without trying to change either. The engagement period shows Bruce attempting balance between Batman and happiness. He continues his mission but with lighter spirit, allowing himself moments of joy between patrols. Selina joins him on cases, their partnership both romantic and practical. They're equals in ways Bruce's other relationships never achieve. Two creatures of the night finding solace in shared darkness. The double date with Clark and Lois provides charming normalcy, superheroes discussing wedding planning over dinner. These moments of humanity, of Bruce Wayne genuinely happy and relaxed, feel precious because we know how rare they are. Clark's support matters, the friendship between world's finest extending beyond costumes to genuine care for each other's happiness. But shadows gather around the impending wedding. Joker's intervention seems inevitable. How could Batman's greatest enemy allow such happiness? Yet his actual response surprises, acknowledging the wedding while planning something subtler than simple disruption. Other villains react with confusion, anger, or strange congratulations, the engagement disrupting Gotham's entire ecosystem. The wedding day arrives with perfect atmosphere. Friends gathered on Gotham rooftop, Alfred prepared to officiate, the city quiet as if holding its breath, but Selina doesn't come. Her letter explains what we fear. She believes Batman needs tragedy, that happiness would diminish him, make him less effective. She leaves not from lack of love, but excess of it, sacrificing their joy for Gotham's protection. The revelation of Bane's manipulation adds cruel layer to personal tragedy. Selina was psychologically pushed toward this decision, her own fears weaponized against their love. But the manipulation worked because the fears were real. Can Batman exist without pain? Does Bruce Wayne deserve happiness when his parents had none? The wedding fails not through external force but internal doubt. Bane's final plan represents the culmination of years of planning, a systematic destruction of Batman through psychological warfare rather than physical dominance. Taking control of Gotham legally through manipulated governmental channels, he transforms the city into his personal kingdom, with Batman forbidden to enter on pain of Alfred's death. This Gotham under Bane's rule is orderly but oppressive. Crime is controlled but freedom eliminated. Villains serve as deputies, maintaining peace through fear. Citizens have safety but no liberty, protection but no hope. It's authoritarian efficiency that makes some question whether Batman's chaotic Gotham was actually better. At least there was choice, even if that choice included danger. Batman's exile forces examination of his relationship with Gotham. Is he the city's protector or part of its disease? Does his presence inspire villains as much as heroes? Watching from outside as Bane's regime provides brutal stability, Bruce must confront uncomfortable questions about his mission's actual effects on those he claims to protect. The murder of Alfred represents Bane breaking Batman's spirit more effectively than breaking his back ever did. Alfred dies not in heroic sacrifice, but as punishment for Damian's defiance, killed to prove a point. His death is mundane, brutal, final, neck snapped in front of the boy he helped raise. It's loss that can't be avenged, only endured. Batman's return to Gotham comes not as triumphant hero, but broken man seeking justice or revenge. The line blurs completely. Working with Catwoman, he dismantles Bane's network piece by piece, but victory feels hollow with Alfred gone. The cave is silent, the manor empty, the ritual of mission and return shattered forever. The Joker's discovery of the Wayne fortune and Batman's resources launches his most ambitious scheme, not just to kill Batman, but to destroy Bruce Wayne entirely. Using stolen billions, Joker turns Batman's own tools against him while transforming Gotham into his personal playground. It's psychological warfare funded by unlimited resources. This assault differs from previous Joker schemes in its comprehensive nature. He doesn't just attack Batman physically, but dismantles his entire support structure. Wayne Enterprises is corrupted. The cave is compromised. Allies are targeted with precision. Joker uses Batman's money to fund chaos, turning strength into weakness. The theft of Martha Wayne's history adds personal violation to financial attack. Joker reveals Martha's struggles with mental illness, her time in Arkham's predecessor institution. This family secret, hidden even from Bruce, recontextualizes his entire life. Is his mission hereditary madness rather than heroic choice? Joker weaponizes doubt about Batman's fundamental identity. Punchline's introduction as Joker's new partner shows his evolution. Unlike Harley Quinn's chaotic devotion, Punchline is cold, calculated, sharing Joker's nihilistic philosophy, intellectually rather than emotionally. She represents a new generation of villain, raised on Joker's legend, choosing evil with full understanding. Her effectiveness shows how Joker's influence spreads beyond direct action. The war's resolution requires Batman to abandon much of what defined him. Without wealth, he must rely on allies and improvisation. Without equipment, he returns to basics: intelligence, determination, physical skill. Stripped of Bruce Wayne's resources, he becomes pure Batman, proving the symbol transcends the man's circumstances. In possible futures, we see Batman's mission extending beyond Bruce Wayne's mortality. Terry McGinnis represents one potential inheritor, a reformed juvenile delinquent who stumbles into the role through circumstance but grows into it through determination. His Batman is different, younger, less burdened by personal tragedy, more integrated with future technology. This future Gotham has evolved beyond Bruce's era. Crime has new forms: genetic manipulation, cybernetic enhancement, corporate warfare that makes old mob families seem quaint. The villains are upgraded versions of classic foes or entirely new threats, born from technological advancement. The city itself is vertical, reaching skyward in ways that require new approaches to patrol and combat. Old Bruce as mentor inverts the typical dynamic. He's the Alfred figure now, providing guidance from the cave while Terry faces danger. But he's harder than Alfred ever was, less patient with failure, more demanding of perfection. Age hasn't softened his edge, only sharpened his understanding of what the mission costs. Terry's relationships differ from Bruce's patterns. He maintains connection to family, has normal friendships, even attempts regular romance. He's Batman part-time, rather than obsessive identity. This balance makes him healthier, but perhaps less effective. He lacks Bruce's total dedication, for better and worse. The question becomes whether Batman requires dysfunction to function. The revelation of Terry's true origin, genetically engineered to be Bruce's son, adds complexity to their relationship. Is their connection genuine mentorship or biological destiny? Does it matter? Terry chooses to continue as Batman regardless of how he started, proving that choice matters more than origin. He's not Bruce's clone, but his successor, similar but distinct. Another future shows Bruce Wayne attempting retirement, trying to live without Batman as age makes the physical demands impossible. But Gotham without Batman degrades into chaos, forcing the Dark Knight's return despite the body's protests. This older Batman is slower but smarter, brutal from necessity rather than choice. Miller's dystopian future presents superheroics as outlawed, regulated, or corrupted. Superman serves the government, Wonder Woman returns to Paradise Island, heroes have abandoned heroism for survival or compliance. Only Batman returns, unable to accept the world's slide into darkness. His resurgence inspires others, but also threatens established order. The final confrontation with Superman represents ideological conflict made physical. Superman argues for order, stability, working within systems however flawed. Batman demands justice regardless of law, freedom regardless of safety. Neither is entirely wrong or right. Their battle is philosophical disagreement expressed through fists, friendship broken by irreconcilable worldviews. This future Batman is explicitly political in ways mainline versions avoid. He leads riots, inspires revolution, transforms from vigilante to rebel leader. The sons of Batman represent his philosophy spreading beyond individual action to movement. Its logical extension of Batman's anti-authority stance, challenging not just criminals but governments that enable them. The ambiguous ending, Batman's death faked, mission continuing underground, suggests the symbol's immortality. Batman can't truly die because what he represents endures. As long as corruption exists, someone will rise to fight it. The specific man matters less than the idea, though Bruce Wayne's version defined the archetype all others follow. The multiverse offers infinite variations on Batman's future. In some, Damian Wayne inherits the mantle, bringing League of Assassins training to Gotham's protection. His Batman is more violent, but oddly more hopeful, believing in redemption through strength. He reforms villains through force, creates peace through fear, achieves what Bruce couldn't by abandoning Bruce's limits. Other futures show the mantle passed beyond the family. Cassandra Cain's Batman communicates through action rather than words, reading body language as others read books. Tim Drake's Batman emphasizes detection over combat, solving crimes before they're committed through predictive analysis. Each inheritor brings their own interpretation, proving Batman's adaptability. Some timelines present Batman as immortal through various means. Lazarus Pit exposure extends his life indefinitely, creating centuries-old Dark Knight, who's seen empires rise and fall. Time travel creates temporal loop where Batman exists across all eras simultaneously. These immortal Batmen gain perspective but lose humanity, becoming more symbol than man. The darkest timelines show Batman's failure. Gotham destroyed, mission incomplete, legacy corrupted. These serve as warnings about the fragility of his achievements. Without constant vigilance, darkness returns quickly. The work is never finished, peace never permanent. Every generation must choose its own heroes or face its own collapse. But throughout all futures, certain constants remain. The Bat symbol endures as sign of hope and fear. Gotham continues as eternal city of shadows, requiring eternal guardian. The mission adapts but persists, passed between generations like sacred flame. Batman proves larger than any individual idea that transcends specific incarnation. As we near the end of our journey through Batman's complete history, we must contemplate what it all means. Why does this story of a traumatized child who becomes a vigilante resonate across decades and cultures? What makes Batman endure when so many heroes fade? The answer lies in the universality of loss and the choice of how to respond. Everyone faces tragedy. Everyone knows pain. Batman shows one path, transforming suffering into purpose, channeling grief into action. He doesn't heal from trauma but weaponizes it, turns wound into weapon. This isn't necessarily healthy, but it's recognizable, understandable. Batman represents the promise that one person can matter, that individual choice can change the world. In an era of systemic problems requiring collective solutions, Batman offers the fantasy of direct action. See problem, punch, problem solved. The reality is more complex, but the appeal remains simple. Someone is doing something about the darkness. The family Batman builds speaks to found connections mattering more than blood. Dick, Jason, Tim, Stephanie, Cassandra, Damian, all damaged in their own ways, all finding purpose in shared mission. They prove that trauma doesn't have to isolate, that broken people can support each other. The Bat family is dysfunctional but functional, scarred but surviving. Batman's refusal to kill remains his most defining and controversial trait. In a world of escalating violence, he insists on line that cannot be crossed. This limitation frustrates many who see it as enabling worse violence through inaction, but it's essential to his identity. He's not judge or executioner, but detective and protector. The no-killing rule keeps him human when everything else pushes toward monster. Batman endures because he evolves while maintaining core identity. The details change. Sometimes he's lone avenger, sometimes family patriarch, sometimes global leader, but the essence remains. He's the traumatized child who refuses to let others suffer as he did, the human who stands among gods, the detective who solves impossible crimes, the protector who never sleeps. His villains endure because they represent timeless fears. Joker is chaos that cannot be reasoned with. Two-Face is duality everyone contains. Riddler is intelligence corrupted by ego. Scarecrow is fear itself. Catwoman is temptation and redemption. Ra's al Ghul is extremism justified by noble goals. These aren't just criminals but psychological archetypes, internal conflicts externalized. Gotham City endures as metaphor for every urban environment, every place where civilization's benefits and costs concentrate. It's New York's danger and grandeur, Chicago's corruption and ambition, London's history and shadows. Every reader can map their own city onto Gotham's dark streets. It's specifically American, yet universally urban, unique yet familiar. The mission never ends because the need never ends. As long as people prey on others, as long as corruption flourishes, as long as fear dominates hope, Batman has purpose. His war is unwinnable by design. Victory would mean unemployment. But the fight itself provides meaning, structure, identity. Batman needs crime as much as crime needs stopping. And perhaps that's the ultimate truth of Batman. He's not about solutions, but responses. He doesn't fix Gotham's problems, but ensures they don't go unanswered. He's not cure, but treatment. Not answer, but reaction. In a world of overwhelming systemic issues, he offers the comfort of someone who refuses to be overwhelmed, who faces the darkness every night and survives until dawn. As our comprehensive journey through Batman's history draws to its close, we return to the fundamental truth revealed in his darkest moment. Batman was never as alone as he believed. From that first night when Alfred tended his wounds, to the global network of allies he commands today, isolation was always more choice than reality. Think of young Bruce in Crime Alley, kneeling between his parents' bodies. Even in that moment of absolute loss, he he wasn't alone. Thomas Wayne's friend Leslie Tompkins held him. Police officers surrounded him. A city's systems activated to help him. The trauma was singular, but the response was communal. From the very beginning, others reached out to the boy in the alley. Through every era, this truth persists despite Bruce's attempts to deny it. The gun-wielding vigilante of 1939 had Commissioner Gordon, even if neither acknowledged their partnership. The campy crusader of the 1960s built a family of bat characters. The dark avenger of the 1970s found allies in Talia and Reyes, even as he fought them. The broken warrior of the 1980s inspired Tim Drake to force his way into the mission. Each Robin represents someone refusing to let Batman isolate himself. Dick brought joy, Jason brought rage, Tim brought balance, Stephanie brought determination, Damian brought legacy. They are not sidekicks but lifelines, connecting Batman to humanity he might otherwise abandon. Through them, he remains Bruce Wayne, not just Batman. The extended family, Alfred, Oracle, Catwoman, Gordon, Lucius Fox, each provides something essential. Alfred is unconditional love disguised as professional service. Oracle proves that heroism transcends physical limitation. Catwoman understands the shadow side, accepts the darkness. Gordon represents the system working properly, law enforcement worth supporting. Lucius enables the mission through technology and logistics. Even the villains enforce connection. Joker refuses to let Batman ignore him, forcing engagement through atrocity. Two-Face reminds Batman of friendship corrupted but not forgotten. Catwoman blurs lines between enemy and ally. Ra's offers respect between opponents. They're dark mirrors, but mirrors nonetheless, reflecting aspects of Batman back to himself. The Justice League, for all the tension and mistrust, provides peers who understand the burden of power. Superman offers friendship between opposites. Wonder Woman provides warriors' perspective on justice. Flash brings humor to grimness. Green Lantern shows will manifested differently. They're not just allies, but family of choice, brothers and sisters in the endless battle. Batman's greatest victories come through connection, not isolation. He defeats the Master by trusting the Vault Dweller. He survives Bane by accepting help from his Bat family. He escapes Darkseid's trap through allies' intervention. Every time he insists on working alone, he fails or nearly fails. Every time he accepts help, he succeeds beyond individual capability. The tragedy is that Batman knows this truth intellectually but struggles to accept it emotionally. He creates elaborate networks of allies while insisting he works alone. He builds families while claiming isolation. He inspires loyalty while expecting betrayal. The contradiction between his actions and self-impeach creates the tension that defines him. And so, dear listener, our chronicle of the Dark Knight comes to its gentle close. We've walked together through nearly a century of stories, from that first appearance in Detective Comics to the complex mythology that continues evolving today. We've seen a character born from simple vigilante fantasy transform into modern mythology, adapting to changing times while maintaining timeless appeal. The Batman story is far from over. Even now, new chapters are being written, new interpretations emerging, new generations discovering the power of the Bat symbol. Tomorrow will bring fresh villains to challenge him, new allies to support him, different creators to reinterpret his mission. The specific details will change, but the core endures. A human being choosing to stand against the darkness, inspiring others to do the same. Perhaps in your dreams tonight you'll find yourself in Gotham City. Perhaps you'll hear the flutter of cape in darkness, see the signal light pierce clouded sky. Feel the comfort of knowing someone watches over the night. Or perhaps you'll simply rest, carrying with you the knowledge that stories of justice and determination have been told for generations and will be told for generations more. Thank you for joining me on this journey through shadow and symbol, through triumph and tragedy, through the complete history of Batman. May the lessons of the Dark Knight, that trauma need not define us, that we're never as alone as we fear, that one person can make a difference, bring you interesting dreams and peaceful sleep. Rest well, knowing that somewhere in the fictional multiverse, Batman continues his eternal vigil. The mission never ends, but for tonight, you can lay down your burdens and rest. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges and its own heroes to face them. Sleep peacefully now. The story is told, the watch is set, and all is well in Gotham tonight. Good night.